Hey there, and welcome to HisTime365. I'm so glad you're here for day one of our 365-day journey through the Bible. Today, we'll look at Genesis 1 through 3, and I'll walk you through what happens, what it means, and why it matters. I'll share a summary and some insights to help you see the big picture and connect with the heart of the Scripture. During your quiet time, I encourage you to read today's lesson in a Bible translation that speaks to you best. Now grab a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and let's spend a few minutes giving God His time. The beginning, creation, choices, and consequences. Have you ever paused to consider the wonder of beginnings? Genesis chapters 1 to 3 introduce us to the incredible creation of the world, humanity's relationship with God, and the profound choices that shaped our existence. This narrative sets the stage for everything that follows, giving us insights into God's intention and the human experience. Our story starts with a magnificent act of creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. Picture the void, a vast emptiness, and then, suddenly, light bursts forth as God commands it. Let there be light. Genesis 3:3. And immediately, darkness gives way to a brilliance that fills the universe. Each day of creation unfolds with purpose and beauty. The sky is formed, land emerges, and plants sprout from the ground. God speaks everything into existence, from the smallest flower to the largest animal. As we move through the days, the creation of humanity stands as the pinnacle of God's work. On the sixth day, God creates man in His own image. Genesis 1:26. Imagine the moment when God breathes life into Adam, the first human. What a profound connection! God sees that everything He created is very good. Genesis 1:31. It's a world filled with beauty, harmony, and purpose, where Adam is given the responsibility to tend to the Garden of Eden. In this idyllic setting, God provides for Adam's every need, but He also recognizes that it is not good for man to be alone. Genesis 2:18. Thus He creates Eve from Adam's side, illustrating a deep connection and partnership intended for companionship. Their relationship is one of unity, sharing the joy of creation and the responsibilities of stewardship over the earth. However, everything changes in chapter 3. The tranquility of the garden is disrupted by the entrance of a serpent, described as more subtle than any beast of the field. Genesis 3:1. This crafty creature tempts Eve with a question that sows doubt about God's command. "Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" Genesis 3:1. The serpent twists God's words, prompting Eve to engage in a conversation that leads her to rethink the boundaries God has set. In her moment of vulnerability, Eve eats the forbidden fruit and gives some to Adam, who is with her. This act of disobedience shatters the perfect harmony of Eden. Their eyes are opened, and they realize their nakedness, which fills them with shame. They attempt to cover themselves with fig leaves, trying to hide their failure. When God walks in the garden, calling for Adam, the weight of their choice sinks in. Adam and Eve hide among the trees, but God knows what has happened. He questions Adam, who shifts the blame to Eve, and Eve, in turn, blames the serpent. This pattern of avoidance reveals a fundamental human tendency to deflect responsibility for our actions. As a consequence of their disobedience, God pronounces judgment. The serpent is cursed to crawl on its belly, and enmity is established between it and humanity. Eve is told that she will experience pain in childbirth, and Adam learns that his work will now come with toil and hardship. Ultimately, they are banished from the garden, losing their intimate relationship with God and the paradise they once enjoyed. This ancient tale reflects deeply on our own lives. Just like Adam and Eve, we face choices every day that can lead us toward fulfillment or away from it. We might not be in a literal garden, but we have our own domains, whether it's in our work, families, finances, or mental health. For instance, consider work. Every day, we have the chance to choose integrity over shortcuts. In a world that often rewards dishonesty, we can be like Adam and Eve, tempted to take the easy way out. But choosing honesty, even when it's hard, can lead to deeper fulfillment and trust. In family life, we encounter decisions that test our values and commitments. It might be tempting to prioritize personal desires over family needs, but choosing to nurture relationships creates a lasting bond. When it comes to money, the allure of consumerism can lead us to make impulsive choices. Just as Eve was tempted by the fruit, we can be tempted to spend beyond our means. Remembering the importance of stewardship helps us make wise financial decisions. And then our mental health is another area where we can draw parallels. The shame Adam and Eve felt after their mistake is something many of us experience. Instead of hiding our struggles, we can choose to seek help and support, opening dialogue rather than retreating into isolation. And in our digital lives, the distractions of social media can pull us away from meaningful connections. The temptation to compare ourselves with others can lead to feelings of inadequacy. Much like the shame Adam and Eve felt, choosing to focus on genuine relationships rather than virtual facades can lead to a more fulfilling life. In the end, Genesis chapters 1 to 3 remind us of the beauty of creation and the weight of our choices. They teach us that while we are created for good, we also have the freedom to choose, sometimes with consequences that ripple through our lives. Our choices matter. They shape our relationships with God, ourselves, and others. What does the story of Adam and Eve teach us about the nature of temptation in our lives today? How can we apply the lessons of responsibility and consequences from Genesis 3 in our daily choices? In what ways can we cultivate a sense of connection with God similar to the relationship Adam and Eve had before the fall? How can we encourage open communication in our families to prevent blame shifting and foster accountability?
Thanks so much for joining me today for HisTime365. Remember, today's reading is Genesis 1 through 3, so be sure to spend some time with those verses during your quiet time. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into Genesis 4 through 7, so feel free to read ahead if you'd like to prepare. If you enjoyed this time together, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you never miss a day on this journey. I'll see you back right here tomorrow for day 2. Until then, stay encouraged and thank you for giving God His time today.